Good morning from the Bulloch County Historical Society. Today's Tidbit is brought to you by corporate sponsors Merrill Lynch, specifically Max Manack, Tillman Brannon Minnick Farm Supply, who gave us a free gift card for one of our winners recently, and by Statesboro Bulloch Regional Veterinary Hospital. I have personally been a customer of all three of these fine businesses, and they are just simply top-notch in every way. What does the dictionary, or now Wikipedia, say about a postcard? Well, it's a rectangular piece of cardboard which is intended to send a short message by mail. The first postcards were introduced around 1850. My Statesboro postcard collection is much more than this definition. It was started by my grandmother Franklin around 1900. She was attending Lucy Cobb Institute in Athens, and her friends and family communicated to her frequently. Postcards were used at this time. Grandmother Franklin kept everything, and now I'm so glad she did. I began really collecting postcards of Statesboro in my 30s. So for 30-something years, I've been looking high and low for a picture on cardboard that tells the early story of my hometown. I now have over 230 images of Statesboro, Bulloch County, and Georgia Southern. At an average cost of around $15, I guess I have a few dollars invested in this great hobby. The most iconic building on Main Street is our courthouse. This square has been the heart and the soul of Statesboro for many years. The courthouse was built in 1894 in the Richardsonian Romance style. This style of architecture was named for Henry Hobson Richardson, a famous architect of the late 19th century. This image of the North Main entrance and the word Bulloch is spelled incorrectly, B-U-L-L-O-C-K. The back is dated April 10, 1923, the Crescent Store. This view shows the north side of the entrance. This is not seen very often. The courthouse is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The total cost, including furnishings, was $20,000. During the 1970s, the county commissioners decided to paint the courthouse white. To be nice, I will simply say it was not pretty. At least they didn't tear it down like our neighbors in Emanuel County did with their courthouse. The Confederate monument on the courthouse square was dedicated on April the 26, 1909, Confederate Memorial Day, in honor of Bulloch County soldiers who fought in the Civil War. Members of the Statesboro chapter of the United Daughters of the Confederacy raised the money to purchase it. This postcard was produced locally by Rustin Studio. The front of the card refers to it as the Confederate shaft. This view was taken in the late 1990s. The courthouse was completely remodeled and returned to its earlier days of grandeur. I just love this image. This is a very special postcard that was given to me by the late Charlie Olive from his collection. His mother, Miss Myrtle, and my grandmother that I spoke of earlier were best friends. I would say this is a political rally in the early part of the 1900s. It was during the winter, as the trees have no leaves, and all the gentlemen have on overcoats, and all of the women have on fabulous hats. This postcard was dated Sunday, July 21st, 1940. It was a gift of our member and my lifelong friend, Judge Scott Allen, who was a native of Statesboro. Scott now lives in Augusta. This was a local political rally for Eugene Talmadge, who was running for governor on the Democratic ticket. Talmadge was elected governor 4 times and died before his 4th inauguration. He wore red suspenders, and as he would pull them, He often explained, "You all got only 3 friends in this world, the Lord God Almighty, the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and Eugene Talmadge. And you can only vote for one of them." What a campaign slogan. Locally, he affected Statesboro by having President Marvin Pittman fired from Georgia Teachers College, now known as Georgia Southern. This was short-lived, however, and Dr. Pittman returned to Statesboro when Ellis Arnold was elected governor in 1942. Look closely at this postcard, as Governor Talmadge isn't speaking, or rather stomping, from the steps of the courthouse. He's on the back of a truck bed under the far right oak tree. Very interesting political postcard. These 2 postcards show views of South Main Street. Both the streets and the sidewalks were not paved. Every home had a picket fence around their front yard. The streets were lined with sycamore trees that were planted in 1907. Sycamore trees once lined all the streets of Statesboro. We have plenty of these still on our property on Savannah Avenue. By 1932, when these trees had reached their maturity, a group of ladies from the Statesboro Women's Club began a movement to remove the trees. They contended that the trees scatter their leaves and litter throughout the vicinity. In winter, they are bare and unsightly. In summer, they are crowded and a nuisance from the litter they create. They appealed to City Council, and in February, the trees were uprooted and cut into firewood. At least they were recycled. I want to end with showing you the back of a postcard. It's dated September 16th, 2 p.m., 1907. In those days, mail went out twice a day. It's addressed to Mrs. Paul G. Franklin in care of Jack's Pharmacy, Atlanta, Georgia. Grandmama was living with Granddaddy in Atlanta before they moved back home. The message says, "Very delighted to get your postcard. I won't do anything desperate until I see you, so hurry home. Best wishes, B.M." December 15th, 1907. This was from her sister, Aunt Bertie Moore. Until next week, bye.